Hey guys, it's me again. I am here to do my makeup, obviously. I didn't have a chance to film all last week, so I wanted to have like a little chit-chat video, and just catch you guys up because I have some super exciting announcements. Not announcements or anything, but just like things that I'm excited about. Oh my gosh. Okay, first being, that if you've watched my previous videos, you know that I struggle minorly with figuring out how to turn the damn ding off my computer when I get a text message. It just goes off in the middle of my videos. And I always want to turn it off, and I didn't know how to for the longest time. Mind you, I consider myself a pretty, technologically savvy individual. Not only am I a millennial, but I also work in a field where you have to be technologically savvy. So I definitely don't consider myself an idiot when it comes to technology by any means, but I was really struggling with how to turn the sound off because, let me tell you, I always thought you needed to have your volume on to record. Don't ask me why I thought this. Don't ask me if it makes any sense because it clearly doesn't to the large majority of people. But I realized that you can still record audio without your volume being on. So currently, my volume on my computer is off, so you will not be hearing those annoying dings, and I'm sorry if you watched my video, plural, that had volume issues, or audio issues, because I continue to get notifications throughout my video. Then obviously just a second ago, I turned the camera on, start recording, and my phone dings, so that's great. I just can't disconnect from technology, I guess. But anyway, so first announcement. Figured out my audio situation. Thank goodness. I'll make sure my cell phone's off next time. Let's see. Guys, my makeup videos are just a giant mess. Honestly, most of the time, it's just, I don't know, I feel like I'm sitting with friends and I just do my makeup like I would if we were getting ready for a night out. Also, don't mind my hair. Sorry, I had to crack my back. Don't mind my hair. I'm going to do a little hair video right after I film this. Also, don't mind my shirt. Just don't mind anything that's going on in this entire video. But yeah, okay, so my second and biggest announcement that I've been waiting to make just until papers were signed and stuff is that I got the job. The job that I had that interview for, like one of my very first videos that I posted. I was going in for a job interview that day. That interview itself ended up getting postponed after I filmed that video, but it doesn't matter because I ended up getting the job. So I'm very excited about that. I start on May 1st, so that's Wednesday of this coming week, and it's Saturday right now. So, yeah. I'll be starting that. I'm very excited. It's my first, other than my internships, kind of my first, big girl job. Not working, in a restaurant or in sales or anything, retail, which is what I've always done in the past. So yeah, very exciting. It's a medical coding company where I am located. So yeah. Anyway, I didn't really think about what I was going to talk about, except I guess it's been on my heart a little bit to, like, talk about some of the stuff I've been going through these past few months of living here, because they're really my first few months of, like, adulthood. Like, adulthood sans college. I always feel like college is, like, a little bit of an in-between, right? You're still, like, kind of a kid. Your parents are still kind of paying for everything. And by kind of, I mean 100% paying for everything. And, yeah, then you get out of college and your parents are like, all right, dude, you're on your own. Good luck. So, I just guess I wanted to talk a little bit about that transition. Because I feel like it's so different for everyone, and everyone makes it out to be like, oh, this is, you know, you're supposed to do X, and then X is going to lead to Y, and then Y is going to lead to Z. And it just isn't always like that for everyone. So, yeah, I guess, just to start, so I graduated in December, right? I thought, okay, I have my bachelor's now. I'm going to get a job. I just didn't even really think twice about it. I had a really good internship my last semester doing exactly what my degree is in. I had had an internship before that in the same field, so I was like, you know, I'm set. I have the experience. I have the education now. And I'm going to get a job. Like, it's going to be easy, is what I thought. Because everyone has always told me, you know, get a job, get an education, get a job, and your life is going to be set. Oh, I'm going in with this Pure Festival palette again. I've been loving this. So actually, you know what I'm going to do? Guys, all my makeup's just, like, in a bag. Like, I don't have a vanity. So I, like, am just digging through this frickin' ginormous bag all the time. Throughout literally every video. Okay. Great. Never mind. I was gonna make a joke, but I won't. I'll just withhold that. So yeah, everyone kind of always told me, you do this and you do that, and then you'll get a job, and it'll be fine, and life will be handed to you on a silver platter. And I ignorantly believed that. I don't know. Not ignorantly, but I trusted that that's exactly how the process would go. So, graduate in December. Moved down, you know, the holidays happened, and I moved down here in early January, I guess. And, sorry, I'm looking for a really specific brush, and I just can't find it for the life of me. This is just how all my videos go. You guys are just watching me, like, fucking digging through a bag all day. Okay, I'll just use this one. Just using this, like, really ginormous fluffy brush. And I'm going in with Epic, which is kind of like this red, like, very red undertoned brown color. And I'm throwing that in the crease as a transition. So, oh, my foundation was just, like, exactly what I do in all my other videos. So, I graduate, I move, you know, away from where I was currently living. I lived up in Fort Worth for a while, and I moved away from there, which, looking back, I had not connections, but I knew people, you know, in that area. And when it comes to, like, job searching, I'm telling y'all, if you're about to graduate, it's all about who you know. Like, it's I think in our parents' generation, it was really what you knew, and it was easy to impress people with your knowledge, and it still is, it's still very impressive when you know a lot in your field, of course, but if you know someone, that's what's going to get you in the door. I'm going in with Free Spirit, which is right here. My computer turned off, or like the screen went to sleep, so I don't know if you can see anything I'm doing. But, yeah, I moved to a city that I knew no one, which wasn't, looking back, wasn't the smartest decision, but I moved here with my fiance, and I applied for job after job after job. I applied for jobs, in the 2 nearest big cities from where I am, which are both about an hour away, but I was willing to make that commute because, the salary difference is significant. One city I was more willing to drive to than the other because I was more familiar with it and I liked it a little bit better. But, I was willing to make sacrifices to, find the perfect job for me, I guess. Okay, I'm going to go in with a mix of All Night and Hidden Desert. That's what it's called, right? Yeah. So here, these two. So kind of a red brown and then like a chocolate brown. You guys probably don't care what I'm doing because I'm not good at makeup, but moving along. And I'm just putting that kind of on the outer corner. I lost my train of thought. Great. So I was willing to make sacrifices, I think is where I left off, in my job search. And even still, I could not find a job. And I started getting interviews, and I'd go in, and I would think I nailed the interview. In fact, with one company in particular, and it was like a major company, and I won't say their name because I don't, want to piss anyone off. But this company I went in for 5 interviews with. 5, okay? I did a phone interview. I met with the owner of, this particular location. I met with, because they have, so many different locations all over the country and probably the world. I don't know if they're multinational, but they're a pretty major company. I met with, the person who works in my area, the top person. I met with, their HR. I met with their, head of operations. I met with, everyone I needed to. And I thought, oh, I for sure have this job in the bag, And they ghosted me. This is something also I want to talk about so that you guys are aware. Because I was always told, the professional way to handle situations is you always follow up and you're always open to giving an explanation as to why a person didn't get a job if they want that, And I was underprepared or unaware of this new trend that I knew was going on in dating, right? Ghosting and dating, we all know what that is. But I didn't know that it was happening in the professional field. And it was a surprise to everyone that I told, and it's happened to me on multiple occasions. So it's not just how this one company operates, okay? But they literally will bring you in for interviews. They'll talk to you. They'll make you feel very confident about, your likelihood of getting this position. And then they will not respond. They'll just stop responding. You'll send them emails. You'll call them. I never had the balls to, go into one of these places, but I was reading articles about it. Some people do and have gone into these places, and they just won't, they'll be stopped by the receptionist, and they just won't ever be given an answer as to why someone else was picked over them or why they weren't picked, And the term, even in the professional field, is ghosting. So the reason I bring all this up is because I've had many experiences. I've had more experiences with job interviews in the past 4 months where they end up ghosting me as opposed to, job interviews where I actually get an answer as to why I didn't get the job. In fact, my favorite was I used for one job that I was so sure I got, but they didn't want to pay me a salary, and they wanted to pay me less than what I would be making if I was going to work at like a fast food restaurant, like a Chipotle or something in my same area. And I was just like, I tried to negotiate with them. Already paying me an hourly position when I have a degree is like, or an hourly wage, when I have a degree, is kind of iffy for me. I really, really, really wanted a salaried position. And this particular place that I interviewed with wanted to pay me hourly, and what they were going to pay me was like barely over minimum wage in my area. So I tried to negotiate with them. I figured, this is a major career move. This is my first job out of college. It's important that I'm getting enough to like live off of. And so I emailed them and was like, hey, these are my salary expectations. Can we meet a little bit in the middle? And, there was quite a big divide in what I wanted and what they were willing to pay me. And instead of getting a response, instead of, them telling me, thank you for explaining, what your needs are, but we're just going to go in a different direction or whatever, we're going to go with someone who we can pay less. Instead of that, they literally sent me an email from one of those job search sites that I applied to them through. So like ZipRecruiter, Indeed, Monster, LinkedIn, all of those that you can go and apply for jobs through them. They literally sent me a generic email, and that like I was friends with the HR coordinator at my last internship, and I saw, they're like back office or whatever. When you're an employer looking, you can literally, it's like Tinder, like you can give them a thumbs up, give them a thumbs down, swipe right, swipe left. And it'll send them an automatic email being like, thank you for your time, but, XYZ company decided to go in a different direction. And it's super generic. You can tell they didn't even write it. Like, Monster wrote this, and they write it for all their people who put up job listings. So here I went in, spent a lot of time with these people, right? I went in for an interview, spent hours talking with them. Good interviews, well, not always, but sometimes a good sign is the length of the interview. And I've had many interviews that have lasted an hour and a half to 2 hours, and that's a big chunk of your day. So yeah, I went in, this interview lasted for I think just over an hour, maybe about an hour and 15 minutes. And then I spent hours, tweaking my portfolio to fit, because I work in marketing. So, it's really important what you send them. Your portfolio is not only a collection of your work, but you want to make sure that the portfolio you're sending is not a generic portfolio. So I spent hours tweaking my portfolio to make it perfect for their company, really showing off what I think they would want to see for their particular company. Doing research on what their demographic is, etc., etc. And they not only couldn't send me an individualized email, they had my email. We corresponded over email back and forth. That's how I got them my portfolio. I knew that they had my email. I had gotten emails from them before. And instead of taking the 3 minutes it would take to be like, thank you so much for all your time. We really enjoyed looking at your work, but we're going to go in a different direction only because, we can't meet your salary expectations and, want you to feel like you're valued at a company or what, you know what I mean? Like that you're getting fairly compensated, whatever. They just had Indeed send me this, thank you for applying, but, this company decided to go in a different direction. And that's just one example. Another example, this company that I went in for 5 interviews with, I went through a headhunter, which, sorry, I'm trying to do my eyeliner and talk, guys. That's a real freaking talent, let me tell you, that I do not possess. Oh my god, I fucked up. Okay, sorry. I done fucked up on my eyeliner, but it's going to be one of those situations where if I try and fix it, it's going to get way too thick. So I'm just going to hope the mascara covers that, right? This is a real beauty guru here, okay? Clearly I know what I'm doing. So, God, let me just do this eyeliner real quick so I don't mess this one up too. Okay. Alright, 30 seconds of awkward silence, and we're back. So I went through a headhunter, and she actually scouted me. I don't even really... Sorry, my stomach is itching. I don't even really know how to get into contact with headhunters. Don't really know, other than just putting my information out there, on LinkedIn or whatever. I don't really know how they found me or how you find them. But neither here nor there. She somehow found me through her little wizardry ways and said, she and I had an initial phone interview, and she's like, I really think you would make a great marketing coordinator for, this big company. And I was so excited. If you know the company I'm talking about, I was really excited about this. I thought this was such an amazing opportunity to, have their name on my resume as, having experience from them is, unbelievable. So, spoke with this headhunter for a while. That's cute. Like I said, I went in, had these 5 interviews, and then I got an email after... Okay, this is what happened. I went in for my 5th interview, and normally... my experience, now mind you, my experience before had been with hourly positions or whatever. It's definitely nothing in the professional realm, right? I mean, you know what I mean. Nothing in the higher up. You know what I mean? Okay, moving along. I always took all my jobs professionally. I didn't mean to make it sound like, this is just retail or whatever. All your jobs are important and you need to make a good impression at all of them. But they aren't salaried positions. They aren't. So I didn't have any experience, really, in how this would go. So I go in for my 5th interview, and I expect to be called that day, or, the next day, or within maybe 3 days, and hear about whether or not I had gotten the position, because... that's how all my other jobs, went. I have always gotten the position within, a day or 2 of interviewing. And I know that's not always how it goes, and I know, different companies have different, ways of going about things, but that's how it's always worked for me. And I've always made it clear, usually when I'm on the job hunt, that there's a competition to try and make them a little bit more eager, I guess, if they want to hire me, to go ahead and give me an offer. I mean, you have to do it in the right way. You have to finesse it a little bit and feel the situation out. You can't always just be like, you know, you have 9 competitors that I'm also interviewing with, because that wouldn't look good. But just letting them know, you know, I am on the job hunt. I am, you know, looking to start soon. So, you know, if you're looking to hire someone soon, I'd love to hear back from you. And that also lets them know kind of your timeline as well, if you are looking to start soon. So I did the same thing here, told them, you know, I am looking to start pretty quickly. If you guys are as well, I'd love, you know, to work with y'all. So 3 days goes by, a week goes by, 10 days goes by, 2 weeks goes by, and on a Sunday, I heard back from this headhunter, and she said, you know, after 2 weeks of waiting, first of all, you just have a gut feeling that you probably didn't get it, or at least I did. I was like, well, if they haven't called me back in 2 weeks, they're probably also interviewing other people. And those people probably have a fighting chance, because they would have, like, scooped me up if there wasn't anyone else in the picture, you know? So I had this gut feeling or whatever, and then I get an email on Sunday saying they decided to go with someone else. Now, my favorite thing was this headhunter didn't give me any explanation as to why. She just said they decided to go in a different direction, but if you're interested in applying for other companies that I work with, or, you know, or other locations or whatever, you know, send me this, and this, and I'll make sure that I send it their way. So I sent her a response email, and I asked, you know, can I ask why they decided to go in a different direction, was the gist of what I was asking. But I said it in a way that I was like, I can really grow from constructive criticism. This is my first time applying for jobs, you know, marketing positions and all of this, and I just want to make sure that going forward I'm the strongest candidate I can be. You know, could you give me a little insight into why, you know, they picked someone else? And she basically said, that's a question for them. If you want to call them, here's the number, and, you know, good luck on what you find. So I called that number, and they never picked up. So I waited until the next day, and I called them again, and they didn't pick up. But I left a message, and I was like, hi, you know, I introduced myself. This is Laura Sullivan. I applied for your marketing position, and I just want to know, you know, basically what I told the woman. I grow from constructive criticism, and I just would love to understand the reasons behind your decision. And I never got a response. Never got a response. And I was so shocked. I called my mom. You know, I waited a week or whatever. When I didn't get a response after a week, I figured, all right, they're not going to respond. And I called my mom, and I was just like, is this normal? You know, like, I really feel like this isn't normal. And, you know, she didn't know either. She, you know, made a good point that she isn't really working in this economy. She isn't really applying for jobs, so she doesn't know how things operate. So I was doing some research, and I actually found out that this is incredibly normal for companies just to not give any explanation, not to thank you for your time, you know, not to, they'll just ghost you. They'll just leave you hanging. And that's that. Good luck. And it's just astonishing to me. And I never in my life thought that that's how companies operated. Like I said before, I've always been told, this is how this is how things operate. It's very professional to respond and to let them know why they didn't get the position if they ask and all this stuff. And I just think it really looks bad on these companies. And especially, major companies like the one I had gotten those interviews for. To know that they operate like that is just astonishing to me. Although I went through this headhunter, I knew. Oh shit. Sorry, I fucked up my mascara. I knew that on my portfolio they had my contact information. I knew they could have reached out to me, and they just chose not to, And sorry if you can hear that music in the background. Roland's out there listening to whatever he's listening to. So I knew, that they could and that they were making the conscious choice to not contact me about it. I also think this headhunter is not a good headhunter because, like I said, I have never had any experience with headhunting, and you can leave a comment if I'm totally out of line for thinking this. But I do think that if the headhunter is the go-between between the employer and the potential employee, they do need to ask basic questions like, why wasn't this person hired? What were you looking for? So that they can grow as a better headhunter and say, okay, well, this company really values A, B, and C, while this company really values X, Y, and Z, And the fact that she didn't get any of that information and she just was like, well, that's a question for them. Good luck. Let me know how it goes. I just I don't know. I just am shocked. I'm shocked that that's how things operate. I didn't mean for this to turn into a negative video. I know it kind of did. I'm going to turn it around. We're going to end it on a positive note, I promise. This isn't just me, venting about my experience. I will end it on me getting the job, okay? So, went in for that job interview 2 weeks ago, and I nailed it. No, I'm just kidding. The woman and I really clicked. She's a strong, powerful woman, just like yours truly. And when you describe yourself as a strong, powerful woman, okay. I'm kidding. But she and I really clicked, you know what I mean? And we had a great time. We were laughing and chatting, and she was really excited about me, and I was really excited about the position she was offering. And so, yeah, same kind of thing. Went a couple days, didn't hear anything, so I reached out to her. And I always like to be a little sly. I don't ever want to seem like I'm pushy, but I do also want answers. You know what I'm saying? So I was just kind of sorry, I was cleaning up my mascara a little bit. So I was just kind of hey, I wanted to check in. I know you're really busy. Is there anything I can do to help, aid in your decision-making process? Is there anything I can send you? Any questions you have, just kind of reaching out, trying to be helpful, but also trying to be yo, don't forget about me, So after a couple days, I know my lipstick is terrible right now. After a couple days, she responded. She actually called me. And she was like, hey, I know I owe you a response. I haven't been ignoring you. I'm really excited about working with you. Can you go to one of these job sites? She actually reached out to me personally on LinkedIn and was like, hey, this is kind of what I need. I don't know if it's temporary. I don't know if it's part-time or full-time, But she was actually so excited about working with me that she wanted to offer me an already created position, and so that I could stay on with them full time and permanently, or for as long as our professional relationship lasts. But yeah, she wanted me to apply for that. She wanted me to start as soon as possible. So like I said, I'm starting May 1st. I heard back about this job, like I said, a couple days after I had sent a follow-up email. She called me and told me to apply for this other permanent, like already created position. And then she said that she would pay me a little bit more. I don't know if more is the right word, but she would compensate me for also getting some other projects done that she had sent me in her original email. So anyway, I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about my job hunting experience and let you know that there isn't a cookie cutter way of getting a job, right? I think a lot of times, I know I was personally told by professors and colleagues that I worked with and my parents that this is how the corporate world works, and it just isn't always an accurate representation of how it works. And everyone has their own journey. Everyone is going to find their perfect job. And that's something that I said about this position in particular that I ended up with, that I feel like it's really where I'm supposed to be, and it was worth 4 months of the hustle, the struggle, it was worth all that to get the position that I really wanted. So yeah, keep your head up, keep smiling if you haven't found that position. And when you're feeling discouraged, take the rest of the day off, breathe, relax a little bit, and then hit the ground running the next day, because that is what's going to get you where you need to go. So anyway, ended that on a cheesy note. This is the makeup look. I kind of messed up on the mascara a little bit, but we're rolling with it. So catch my next video. I'm going to be chopping my bangs a little bit because, as you can see, they look like overgrown weeds on my face. So I'm going to be cutting those. So you can stay tuned for that. Alright, I know you guys love my hair cutting videos, so catch the next one. Alright, bye guys. Thanks for tuning in.